Welcome to Pulse of Africa channel, your reliable place for real up-to-date news from across Africa. If this is your first time here, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you stay updated, informed, and connected to what's really happening from across the continent. Your engagement keeps our voice alive and strong. Disclaimer: the content of this video is based on credible, publicly available information, official statements, and other authentic online materials. It is intended for educational, analytical, and informational purposes only. We do not promote hate, violence, misinformation, or political unrest. Our sole objective is to provide context-rich insight into current affairs, amplify local perspectives, and support informed dialogue across Africa. Burkina Faso inaugurated a national monument to one of Africa's most iconic leaders, Thomas Sankara. But the event wasn't just about honoring the past. It marked a new chapter of unity, resistance, and shared struggle across the Sahel, as leaders from the region gathered, including Ousmane SONKO, the Prime Minister of Senegal, who gave a very powerful speech about the future of Africa, which must be built on solidarity, sovereignty, and security. The ceremony paid tribute to the revolutionary leader, whose bold vision for a self-reliant and unified Africa still resonates deeply across the continent. Thomas Sankara, often referred to as Africa's Che Guevara, was assassinated in 1987, but his ideas remain alive and inspiring, particularly in today's Sahel region. Sonko arrived with a delegation sent by Senegalese President Bassirou Harfaye. The visit served a dual purpose: to honor Thomas Sankara's legacy and to strengthen cooperation between Senegal and Burkina Faso. In his address, Sonko described Sankara as a true son of Africa, whose vision had shaped the continent's fight for sovereignty and justice. Sonko stated that the visit wasn't just ceremonial, it was also a working mission to explore ways the two countries could collaborate more deeply. Sonko emphasized that his discussions with President Traoré had been extensive and sincere. One of the key topics was regional security. He relayed a message from President Harfaye expressing the solidarity of the Senegalese people with the people of Burkina Faso. Sonko made it clear that the security crisis Burkina Faso faces is not just its own struggle, but a regional emergency that affects all West African nations. According to Sonko, no country in the region can afford to be a bystander. He warned that the spread of terrorism in countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is a threat to the entire West African region. He pledged that Senegal is exploring every option to collaborate more closely, offering both moral and practical support. The Prime Minister also highlighted the existing agreements between Senegal and Burkina Faso. There are currently over 20 agreements already in place, with around 20 more in discussion. These cover a range of issues including economic cooperation, security, and infrastructure. Sonko noted that both sides are committed to fast-tracking these new deals to deepen their bilateral partnership. He spoke with optimism about President Traoré's openness to regional unity and collaboration. According to Sonko, Traoré showed a clear understanding of the challenges facing the Sahel, especially the dual burden of economic hardship and armed conflict. Yet, despite these challenges, Sonko praised the resilience and determination of the Burkinabe people and their leadership. In a broader reflection, Sonko stated that Africa faces two major challenges: economic development and security. He stressed that all efforts across the continent should align with these two goals. In his view, Burkina Faso is an example of a nation facing both challenges simultaneously and doing so with courage.
I would first like to offer my warmest regards to His Excellency the President of Burkina Faso, Mr. President Ibrahim Traoré. Thank the Prime Minister and his entire government for the warm welcome we have received since our arrival, and convey the greetings of all the Senegalese people, led by His Excellency President Bassirou Harfaye, who kindly authorized this mission at the invitation of my counterpart in Burkina Faso for two purposes. First, a visit to participate in the celebration of a great and worthy son of Africa, a figure who has illuminated all the patriotic, pan-Africanist and sovereignist struggles of the continent for several decades, the late President Thomas Sankara, who will be celebrated tomorrow through the inauguration of the mausoleum dedicated to him, but also a working visit with my counterpart from Burkina Faso on a number of themes of cooperation between our two countries. It is in this context that we had the honor of being received by the President of Burkina Faso, who granted us a long interview during which we were able to review a certain number of issues. First, the security issue. On behalf of President Bassirou Harfaye, I would like to convey to all the people of Burkina Faso the solidarity of the Senegalese people in the face of this ordeal that has been imposed upon them and which was not their own choosing. I convey a message of absolute support to President Traoré, his entire government, and the people of Burkina Faso in their fight against this terrorism that has been imposed upon them. We are considering every possibility of collaboration and support because it is illusory to think that when Burkina Faso, Mali, or Niger undergo this ordeal, it will simply remain within their borders. Our destinies are linked by history and geography, and none of our countries can be spared if the gangrene continues to spread in West Africa. Senegal, beyond the demonstration of solidarity, will not rule out any form of collaboration to support our brothers in this ordeal. On the bilateral level, we also discussed continuing this collaboration, which is already rich in some 20 agreements signed between our two countries, as well as some 20 other agreements currently under discussion that should be quickly finalized to strengthen our bilateral cooperation. We also discussed multilateral collaboration within the framework of the space we share in common. I was delighted to listen to President Traoré for several minutes. He explained the situation to us and demonstrated the resilience of the Burkinabe people. In the face of this ordeal, he reiterated his openness and that of Burkina Faso as a factor of African unity, of unity in the sub-region, and as a driving force for both economic and security collaboration. I tend to say that our continent has only two major challenges: economic growth and security. Everything we must do must revolve around these two pivots. For a country like Burkina Faso, the challenge is all the greater because it must address economic demands common to all African peoples while managing an acute security crisis. What is essential is the openness and availability we have perceived. We are no longer in a closed world, confined within a region. We thank him for this listening, this attention, and this demonstration of solidarity and fraternity towards the Senegalese people and towards his brother, President Bassirou Harfaye. We leave this palace completely satisfied and reassured about the future of collaboration between our two countries.
The visit and the emotional tribute have sparked strong reactions across the region. In Burkina Faso, many citizens viewed the inauguration of the Thomas Sankara Mausoleum as a long overdue act of respect to a leader who gave his life for national dignity. The event has energized patriotic and pan-Africanist sentiments, especially among young people. In Senegal, Sonko's active participation in such a symbolic event has reinforced his image as a regional statesman. Political analysts in Dakar say that this move strengthens his position both domestically and on the continental stage. Experts on West African geopolitics have praised the growing alliance between Burkina Faso and Senegal. They argue that such regional partnerships are crucial for addressing transnational threats like terrorism, arms trafficking, and economic instability. However, some warn that the success of these collaborations depends on concrete action, not just powerful speeches. International observers also took note of the timing. As Burkina Faso continues to distance itself from former colonial powers and Western influence, its stronger ties with neighbors like Senegal could form a new bloc of African-led cooperation. Still, not all reactions have been positive. Critics argue that while symbolic gestures are important, what matters most is the improvement of everyday life for ordinary citizens. They urge leaders to move quickly from promises to policies that bring jobs, security, and food to the table. The Thomas Sankara Mausoleum stands not just as a monument to a fallen hero, but as a symbol of Africa's enduring fight for dignity, unity, and self-determination. As leaders like Ibrahim Traoré and Ousmane SONKO step forward to shape the next chapter of this fight, one question remains: will their partnership bring real change for the people they serve? Let us know what you think. Can this wave of Pan-African cooperation turn the tide against insecurity, and economic hardship in the Sahel. Don't forget to subscribe to Pulse of Africa channel for more powerful stories and deep analysis from across the continent. Like this video, share it with your community and let your voice be heard in the comments below. Together, we amplify Africa's pulse.